In my last video, I cut this box joint using my advanced box joint jig with this fine adjustment on here, and I want to cut it a little bit tighter. This one I think is perfect for, say, wood glue, but I wanted to make it just a small amount tighter so that I could demonstrate the best glue to use for gluing up box joints, and that's polyurethane construction adhesive. And I'll go into the reasons for that after. First, I want to show you how I've got this set up to make that fine adjustment. So what I've done is I've added a dial indicator to the jig here, and that allows me to work it so that I can see exactly how much the fine adjustment pulls the carriage back. And in this instance, I can see that it's 21 thousandths. And I want to make it a little bit tighter than that. So the way I'm going to make my adjustment is just tap very slightly on the end of my locking bar here, the secondary locking bar, and that'll move it over a very small amount. And then I'll test it again and see what I wind up with there. Test pieces set up in the jig here, clamped in place. I want to get the dial indicator off. To mount the dial indicator, I drill a hole in the jig to drive a screw through the mounting hole of the dial indicator, and that hole will bother nothing as long as it's not puckered out. Just make sure that that's good, and make sure that the jig slides back and forth okay, and it does. I'll put it back to the start position and I'll start making my cuts. Okay, that went well. Try it out and see how it fits, if it even goes together at all. And it doesn't look like it does. It's very tight, too tight. Okay, so what I would have to do is try again, but set the jig a little bit tighter this time, or more open. I guess going to 19 thousandths was too much, as opposed to, say, 20. I should have aimed for 20. But I'll reset it again and try it again, and I'll come back with a new fit, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, I wasn't gone that long, actually. What I decided to do, it occurred to me after I turned the camera off, was to flip it over and put the loose side with the tight side and see how that fits. And what I have here is a joint that will just barely go together. There's no way that you'd be able to glue this with wood glue. So the beauty of using construction adhesive is that, first of all, you can take your time. You don't have to rush the glue up because it takes hours for this stuff to set. The other thing is it doesn't have any water in it. So it will not swell the wood like regular wood glue will, because regular wood glue has water in it, and that's what makes the wood swell. The stuff that's in here, the solvent, it doesn't do that. So I put some glue on both fingers like that, on both sides, and I'm going to try to kind of squish it in back and forth here, and then I'm going to try to work that in as I work the joint together. Now, this being very tight, it's almost too tight to go together, and the glue, what it's acting as here almost, is like a lubricant to put the parts together. But like I say, it will go together with this glue because you have a lot of time to work with it, and it's not swelling the wood up. Also, it fills any gaps that happen to be there. Not that there are any gaps in this one, that's for sure. So I'm just going to shut up and try to get this together. I think that's it. Just going to wipe off the excess, and we'll get the camera in for a closer look. Like I said, the good part of this is that it actually lubricates the joint as it's going together. And when it does set up, you're not going to break this joint. This glue is almost as strong as regular wood glue. And as anybody knows that uses regular wood glue, it's actually stronger than it needs to be for most applications.